What's going on, guys? It's Koo here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Heading into this season, the Detroit Pistons replaced backup point guard Ish Smith with former league MVP Derrick Rose. Now, usually I'd record myself going a little crazy or talking a little loudly about Derrick Rose because he is my favorite player. But today, I decided to go in a different route for this video. Today, I'm going to show why Derrick Rose is an improvement over Ish Smith and what he brings to the team, something that we just didn't have last year and something Ish Smith was just incapable of doing. Now, before I start bringing up the clips and start going into some film review over Ish Smith and Derrick Rose from last year, I think we have to get a few things out the way. The Pistons bringing in Derrick Rose of course comes with a major risk, and that risk is injury. If at any point during the season Derrick Rose misses a large chunk of games for the Detroit Pistons, everything I say in here about him being better than Ish Smith or bringing an element to the Pistons game that we just simply had last year won't matter, because we'll need him for the entirety of the season, or at least a good chunk of the season, if the Pistons plan on improving upon last season's 8th seed finish and first round sweep to the Bucks. Anyways, the Detroit Pistons brought Derrick Rose in here, like I said earlier, because he just brings an element to their offense that they didn't have last year, or just lacked last year. Last year, we watched Blake Griffin deteriorate towards the end of the season and probably lost the Pistons positioning in the playoff seeding and made it to where it was just impossible for them to steal a game from the Milwaukee Bucks. With the signing of Derrick Rose, you now have Blake Griffin, Reggie Jackson, Derrick Rose, and hopefully Luke Kennard as players who can go get their own bucket or find someone else for an easy bucket at some point in the offense, instead of just relying on Blake Griffin as much as they did last year. And this was something that Ish Smith just couldn't do for the Pistons offense, especially in the half court. And it was on full display in the sweep against the Milwaukee Bucks. Listen, Ish Smith was loved by Pistons fans, and he really embraced the city of Detroit as his home. And I always appreciate how hard Ish Smith played. But just to keep it a $150, Derrick Rose is just simply better than Ish Smith, and Ish Smith's kind of play style, like I said, hindered the Pistons offense in the half court. And let's get into why. This is a game against the absolutely terrible Memphis Grizzlies towards the end of the year, a game the Pistons really needed if they wanted to make the playoffs. Now, we're going to freeze it right here. As you can see, Ish Smith beats his guy off the dribble. He is a very fast and quick player, but at only 6 feet, which is probably kind to him, he's probably more like 5'10". Ish Smith very much struggles to finish through contact or any kind of contest at the rim. As you see right here, he airballs, misses everything. And Ish's lack of shooting but willingness to shoot long twos allows defenses to sway at the rim and force him into tough layups. Last year, Ish Smith shot only 37% from 10 to 16 feet and shot 40% from 16 feet to 3-point range. But as many Pistons fans know, over Ish Smith's entire tenure as a Detroit Piston, these are shots that he liked to settle for when the defense gave it to him. And we're going to freeze the clip right here just to watch how Ish Smith's defender stays completely attached to Andre Drummond as the roller, because Ish poses no threat from out here, and he's able to get a late contest on it. And even after all the injuries, Derrick Rose is still one of the more explosive players in the entire NBA, and he makes a living out of finishing contested layups, as you see right here. We're going to freeze the clip right here. Just watch how Derrick Rose goes straight into the body of defender, because he has the explosiveness to be able to finish over him, and he has the craftiness to finish around the defender. And this is something, as you saw in the first clip of Ish Smith, Smith just couldn't bring to the Detroit Pistons team. He simply lacks the explosiveness and the strength to be able to go at these big men when they're contesting his layups. Last year, Derrick Rose shot 50% from 10 to 16 feet and 43% from 16 feet to the 3-point line. Derrick Rose is in the elite handful of players when driving to the rim. He's just one of the very best players at getting to the rim and getting a bucket. But what made him so successful last season was the threat of his jump shot from this area right here. As you can see in the clip, now, I understand it's against notable bad defender Jabari Parker, but we're going to freeze it right here. Look at how much room Parker is giving Rose on this pick and roll with Anthony Tolliver. The threat of Rose getting to the rim on any switch in this pick and roll has Parker on his heels already and allows Derrick Rose to go up for the open mid-range jump shot. The defense will have to pick their poison this year. They won't be able to just give the mid-range jumper to the Pistons anymore. Either you step up on Rose and he beats you to the basket, or you back up on your heels like here and he drains the mid-ranger. And this is the last point I want to make. In the playoffs, the Pistons went against what's called a drop coverage and completely took Andre Drummond out of the game. This is when the big man sags at the paint and forces the ball handler to either take a floater or a mid-range jump shot or force a bounce pass to Andre Drummond, which makes him take a hard layup. Now, Reggie Jackson is perfectly capable of taking this floater. Why he wasn't doing it, I don't know. But Ish Smith is not capable of hitting this mid-range jump shot or a floater at a high enough clip to make the defensive pay. This is something Derrick Rose can absolutely do. Now, we're going to freeze this clip on Andre Drummond's roll right about here. This is something the Pistons players, you just have to take. Look at how much space is between Brook Lopez and Reggie Jackson. You have to take this floater, or you have to take this mid-range jump shot. If you don't, you force Andre into a tough layup, which is just hard to expect any big man to really finish through. And if there's one thing Derrick Rose haters and fans can agree on, is that Derrick Rose is not scared to shoot that ball. So if the defenses give him that kind of space, he will shoot it. And if they don't, as you see in this play right here, Derrick Rose is a superior dump-off passer and a passer in the pick and roll than Ish Smith. During Ish Smith's time with the Pistons, many people complained about the fact that he was just incapable of feeding Andre Drummond on the roll, whether it was an alley-oop or giving him a good pass on the roll. As you can see here, Derrick Rose comes off the roll and finds Taj Gibson with the perfect bounce pass to get him an open layup. Derrick Rose very likely may get hurt. Derrick Rose very likely may miss some games. But when he's on that court for the Pistons, he's going to do more for the Pistons than Ish Smith was capable of doing, and he's going to make the Pistons a better team than they were when Ish Smith was on the floor. For the Pistons, what they need to be worried about and what they need to be targeting is finding a way to manage Derrick Rose's load and keep him healthy for the majority of the season and going into the playoffs. If they can do that, the signing of Derrick Rose will prove to be an upgrade over Ish Smith, and the Pistons will win more games this season because of it. And that's all I've got for you guys today. If you guys liked the video, make sure you give me a thumbs up down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so you can get all my content moving forward. And let me know in the comment section also if you'd like this new film review thing I'm going for here. I plan on doing this more often now that the season's coming around, so let me know what you think about it down below. Once again, thank you guys for watching and signing out from this film review.